Hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation. I'm Dr. Naser Makarem from the University of Aberdeen, and the title of this keynote speech is Brexit and Audit Pricing. So, just an introduction about Brexit. As you are perhaps aware, on 23rd of June 2016, the UK decided to leave the European Union. And as a result of Brexit, what happened was that there was a substantial increase in uncertainty in the UK, which was arguably different from other comparable uncertainty shocks like oil price shock of 1973 or the first and second Gulf War or September the 11th attacks. Um, why? Because all these uncertainty shocks subsided reasonably swiftly, and then and also they're not connected to an economic recession. Um, what we're doing in this paper is that we are examining the impact of Brexit as a driver of uncertainty or policy uncertainty in the UK on audit fees of British companies. So, a general and quick review of the studies on policy uncertainty and how it affects corporate behavior. There is evidence that managers change their behavior based on their environmental factors, and what they do is that they try to manage the uncertainty of their environment by changing their behavior. There is also evidence that uncertainty affects managerial decisions, managerial uh, investing decisions, in innovation activities, and also payout policy. So different aspects of firm behavior is actually affected by policy uncertainty. Specifically about Brexit-driven policy uncertainty, um, it was a significant uncertainty in the UK during the time just after the referendum. Why? Because the European Union was and still is the main trade partner of the UK with around 50% share in the UK's trade. So a big chunk of the UK's trade is with the European Union countries. And Brexit was unique. Why? Because there was uncertainty, substantial uncertainty over the timing and the eventual outcome of leaving the European Union. So for a long time, no one in the UK knew what's going to happen, when Brexit is going to happen, and what's going to happen to the economy and specifically to British firms if this exit happens. So it was the main driver of uncertainty for the UK businesses during the period just after the referendum. Um, there were some speculations about the outcome of Brexit. Some were very optimistic, and some were very pessimistic. Um, but what happens on the day of referendum was that a very narrow majority of British people, 51.9% compared to 48.1%, decided to leave the EU. And this outcome was largely unexpected and a surprise for the UK businesses, and that increased the uncertainty created by Brexit as well. So, how policy uncertainty and specifically Brexit will affect audit fees? There are two views. Each will predict a different direction of the impact of policy uncertainty. So, we got business risk argument. This argument predicts an increase in audit fees during the heightened policy uncertainty periods. And the idea here is that policy uncertainty increases financial reporting risk, and because of that, there is increased chance of earnings management. There is increased chance of estimate errors by accountants, uh, increased information asymmetry, and it also increases audit complexity. So all these factors result in increase in audit fees. There is also another argument predicting a decrease in audit fees. This argument is based on the assumption that when there is policy uncertainty, firms try to reduce their costs, and audit fees is a major cost for many companies. So they try to maybe negotiate with their auditors or change to less costly auditors, that will reduce audit fees. So we got conflicting views on how policy uncertainty can affect audit fees. Empirical evidence is also inconclusive. So we got studies showing an increase in audit fees in response to policy uncertainty, and also studies showing a decrease in audit fees in response to uncertainty. So what we're going to do and how our study is going to contribute to the literature. So our study generally contributes to the literature on the impact of uncertainty. There are lots of studies done in this area, and also particularly on how uncertainty affects financial reporting process as well. We're also adding to the new literature on Brexit and how Brexit affects UK businesses. And we're also adding to prior studies that show an association between policy uncertainty and audit fees. But what we're adding here is that this is the first study providing a causal evidence on the impact of policy uncertainty on audit fees. And finally, we provide clarity on conflicting evidence on the role of uncertainty in audit pricing. So, as I mentioned, there are conflicting views, and we're adding more evidence to provide new insight into the topic. Very quickly on data and methodology. Data was collected from DataStream for all the UK firms during the period 2011 to 2018. We removed all the regulated and financial institutions. By the way, the reason why we stopped in 2018 is that there is evidence that the policy uncertainty started to subside in 2019, so we stopped our sample in 2018. So our final sample contains more than around 4,500 firm-year observations, representing 803 unique firms. What we're doing is that we're comparing audit fees of UK firms most adversely affected by Brexit to others during the period of a high Brexit uncertainty, which is 2016 to 2018, with a period before that, 2011 to 2015. And we're using this difference in difference model, which includes also some controls, and we do some additional analysis as well that I will explain later on in this presentation. So just quickly going over the results. This is the main model, and as you can see, the coefficient on the treatment variable and the Brexit variable. So we divided the whole sample into a control variable, control group, and the treatment group. Treatment group is the ones the firms most adversely affected by Brexit. In the paper itself, we explained how we divided the sample. So we looked at the GVA, gross value added, and then under the two scenarios of soft Brexit and hard Brexit, we divided the sample into firms most adversely affected by Brexit based on gross value added and other firms. So, and Brexit is a dummy variable denoting whether the firm year observation belongs to the uncertainty period, which is 2016 to 2018. We also repeated this. As you can see, there is another version of the variable of interest, Brexit underscore A, underline A, and that shows a different measure of the indicator variable. So instead of looking at the whole 2000, starting in 2016, what we do is that we start the sample from 30th of June, so to be more precise. And as you can see, the results are very similar and comparable. And what it shows is that we see an increase in audit fees in response to Brexit. We also use a size match sample. So we repeated the sample, the test 4 times using different scenarios. Under the first scenario, where all controls are excluded, as you can see, the coefficient becomes insignificant, but the direction is still consistent with our predictions. When we include in the second scenario, when we include firm level controls in the model, that enhances the precision of our estimation, and the coefficients become the coefficient becomes significant. As you can see, it's 0.062, it's highly significant. In the third scenario, when we add firm and year fixed effects, you can see the coefficient is still positive and significant. And in the fourth scenario, when we only include fixed effects, the coefficient remains the same as the third scenario and still significant. We've also done a number of additional analysis, and I will list some of them in the next slide. But one of the most important ones is the comparison between firms audited by Big Four auditors and others. As you can see, the coefficient on the variable of interest, which is the interaction between treatment and Brexit, is consistently negative. And this is the same for the full sample and the balanced sample across all covariates. On the other hand, the coefficients on the interaction between treatment and Brexit, and treatment and Brexit and Big Four are positive. So there are some takeaways from these results. The first one is that Brexit exerts an asymmetric influence on audit fees in the treatment group, depending on the auditor type. So when you look at the impact of the Brexit, it matters whether the company is audited by big auditors or non-big auditors. If both the treatment and control group are audited by non-big auditors, Brexit reduces fees in the treatment group compared to the control group. This suggests a pressure on audit firms, audit fees, and a heightened demand for audit fees discount. And it shows that non-big auditors have responded positively to this pressure by reducing their fees. The second takeaway from this one is that the results suggests that when both treatment and control groups are audited by non-big big auditors, Brexit increases audit fees of the treatment group compared to the control group. And this implies that Big Four auditors refrain from giving any discounts as a result of uncertainty. And basically, it suggests that when there is uncertainty, Big Four auditors increase their efforts. They ask for a premium because there is a higher risk associated with financial reporting of companies. So they ask for higher fees, higher audit fees. As I mentioned, we've done some robustness checks. As you've seen, we've done size matched samples, covariate matched samples, first difference specification, diagnostic tests of the parallel trends assumption, and placebo tests as well, which are reported in the table, but we don't have to go over all these tests. But basically, they show that the initial results are robust to different robustness checks. So what are the conclusions from this paper? What we've shown in this paper was that economic policy uncertainty increases audit fees, and this is because of higher risks, higher audit risks as a result of economic policy uncertainty. On average, we showed that Brexit increased audit fees of British companies by 6.3% for the most affected firms. And this increase can be associated with the increase with the decreased financial reporting as a result of policy uncertainty, because there are some prior studies showing that policy uncertainty results in lower financial reporting quality. And I mentioned two arguments predicting an increase in audit fees in response to policy uncertainty or a decrease. So our results are consistent with the with the business risk argument, which says as a result of uncertainty, the risk of financial reporting increases. So what auditors will do is that they increase their audit fees because they need to put more effort on auditing firms during the periods of heightened policy uncertainty. We also showed the impact of Brexit-induced uncertainty on audit fees, and we showed that that varies based on the size of the auditors. As you just seen, it matters whether a company is audited by a big auditor or a non-big auditor. So our findings are some implications for policymakers. We show that a major economic event like Brexit can which creates significant uncertainty can affect audit pricing, and it can also affect the financial reporting dynamics around auditing as well. And we invite future researchers to test the impact of Brexit on other auditing factors like audit opinion type and the timeliness of audit report as well. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.